Curtis DIY.
DIYers, so it appears that a former XXL freshman named Rich Amiri believes that we need to get rid of the XXL freshman Cyphers because, you know, obviously it's that XXL freshman time of the year. He believes we need to get rid of it because it is, quote, a trap. He released his views on it as these freestyles are starting to come out via Instagram stories. And this is what he had to say. We're going to break this down one story at a time. He says, I don't know if it's just me, but it feel like XXL know it ain't the power platform it once was. So now they roll out lean more on controversy than discovery. Oh, this is going to be a challenge. That freestyle teaser don't look like a genuine preview of the next upcoming artist stars. It looked like they intentionally picked the roughest, most controversial moments to get people talking, even if it mean the artist become the punchline. Okay. So XXL obviously is a magazine that has built their reputation, especially in the 90s and the 2000s, off of the traditional skill set that you expect of artists, lyricists, storytellers. Some of the most exciting and popular and dynamic artists have been highlighted for their very skill. And I guess according to just this first slide, he feels that it's becoming more of a gimmick, which I think some of these XXL freshmen list in the past, with the exception of maybe one or two names on the list that feel like the old XXL, that have been quite gimmicky. But then you also could say no.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell.
You got to tell Did it no. All you got to do is tell XXL no. That's not for me. It looked like they intentionally picked the roughest, most controversial moments to get people talking, even if it mean the artist become the punchline. Or, I don't know, maybe you could make a punchline and rap. Not jumping the gun too early. Let's keep on going. He said, I ain't. If you don't just spell I ain't saying it's XXL job to make sure every artist got a great freestyle. At the end of the day, the artist still got to perform. And if they freestyle ass, people going to react negatively. Step one in rapping. I saw this in the comments. Step one in rapping. Know how to rap. And although the idea in the word freestyle has been bastardized, it has been changed and switched around to readjust to new generations and their interpretation of it, one thing that cannot be forgotten, XXL Freshmen at its prime, when you saw some of the most elite lyricists on the up and coming, it was literally built off of the idea that these are the up and coming artists that you need to pay the most attention to. These are the ones that hold on to a skill set that separates them aggressively from the herd of other artists. It wasn't so much about just what the people are gravitating towards, but that was the idea. That's on one hand. That's the one that they package up for you as a consumer. The other hand is what I found firsthand as an artist that at one point in time was interested in it. You also got to be signed. They don't tell you that. You also got to be signed. You must be signed. There are nobody who gets on here as a XXL freshman that is 100% independent. You must be signed. Now, some of those rules may change, but that's the whole idea. A label gets to show off their artists that they are currently promoting and putting money behind by having them be on a magazine cover, and they get to use this as great PR to get them other speaking opportunities on interviews and things like that. But it used to be that it had to be you were part of a label. So that's for starters. But let's continue. But it's a difference between documenting what happened and shaping the XXL rollout around the most ridicule-friendly moments. When your platform is built around introducing new artists to a wider audience, rap audience, hip hop artists, by the way, there should be some responsibility in how you frame those artists, not to protect them from all criticism, but to make sure your platform ain't being used mainly as a machine for hate. Or perhaps this is an opportunity for XXL to become XXL and then appease those of you that want to be a part of rap but don't want to rap.
Somebody gonna have to tell
I don't get it. It seems like there are artists out here who want to benefit off of a building that was literally built by the very people they ridicule. You know, aka Drewski skit, lyrical miracle rap boom bappers or whatever, the purists. It seems like the very platform that was built by these same people, the reason why we even care about the brand of a XXL, those are the ones you want to take out of the conversations to readjust to what you feel is the new idea of rap, even though it's not one-dimensional. My question is this. If it is something that has such a draw and such a fanfare, why are there not platforms that are creating their own version of a XXL, but it's alternative rap? And not to mention, you have artists that don't even want to rap. They mostly sing and harmonize, which is nothing wrong with that. It's just a matter of, are you wanting to benefit off of hip hop by being adjacent to all the platforms that were built off of hip hop while not necessarily taking on any of the abilities we have expectations of a rapper to be? Like that's why choose XXL to have to readjust to your mediocrity? That's what I don't get. He goes on to say, it's a machine for hate. Okay. I do feel like XXL does share in some of the responsibility of, you should be choosing artists that are coming there to rap. Or else, what is XXL? I know it's hip hop culture and some of these things are branches of subgenres in hip hop, but what is this for anymore? Even the Cypher, the idea of the Cypher is a very hip hop idea and concept. So what are we? Do we want to enjoy the shoulders of the giants that we're standing on without acknowledging the things that made them giants to fucking begin with? I don't know. I don't let them cook. Continue. Even if it is burning. This shit, TS, this shit is especially lame because these ain't fully established artists with years of goodwill to fall back on. For a lot of them, this one of their first major mainstream looks. A bad XXL moment can follow them forever, while a good one will only ever be good enough to get ignored. Then say no. Then say no. Then say no. That is always an option, is to say no. You know what? Because of the style of my music and because of the platform that is XXL and what you built your platform on, I think this is a bad look for me. And I think that your audience is going to absolutely hate me. So I'd much rather wait until a more alternative hip hop publication wants to come cover me. Thank you for the opportunity, but I don't have anything for your Cyphers and your XXL culture. He says, all I'm saying is if the platform realizes it's no longer got the same power to break artists and it pivots into embarrassing them, oh, now XXL's embarrassing. Okay, let me entertain this. First of all, these artists are embarrassing themselves. If you know your ass can't rap, but you want to get in a Cypher, that is on you. But XXL does benefit from this embarrassment. When artists have these, like the only time that we talk about XXL throughout the year these days, except for this particular platform, is when this Freshmen list drops. That is the only conversation we have about the brand that is XXL. That's what the one time that we cover them. And it's usually because it's like, I can't believe you bring this in the same room as a Ravon and a Samar Sin. I know that hip hop is diverse. I know it's all encompassing, but a lot of these artists don't even want to be categorized as hip hop. They want to benefit off of what hip hop has built to help jumpstart their career into their alternative rock rap genre, whatever you want to call it. He says, all I'm saying is if the platform realizes it no longer has the same power to break artists and it pivots into embarrassing them, it's completely lost the very purpose that made it matter in the first place. No. Here's where I partly agree. I think that XXL, in a attempt to be more, an attempt to encompass more of the variety of artists that are coming up, they did start to bend their rules to be more inclusive. I think they brought in artists that they themselves wouldn't really categorize themselves as rappers, but that doesn't mean that all of them have been bad. When I think about Designer and Timmy Turner, that was a standout performance. That was really a good look for him. And I think it was a good look for him because he actually performed. Hello.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
You don't want to rap, but you want to be a rapper. You don't want to give a performance, but you want to perform in sold out places. You want to sing instead of rap, but you don't want to sing without auto-tune. All of y'all is cereal without the murk. Without the murk. What do you do? What do you do? What do you do well? Oh, boy. It goes on to say, all I'm saying is if the platform realizes it no longer got the same power to break artists and it pivots to embarrassing them, no, that's not why. That is not, I don't agree with that. I think that the whole point of it is to display your talent. But if you're not able to display your talent at a high level, you cannot be angry when you said yes to these platforms. And two, when the audience feels different. Now, just to give you a heads up, I probably should do this in the beginning. Rich Amiri is a former XXL freshman of 2024. I'm going to give you why that matters here in just a second, because it's a really funny story that they're starting to link to him. He says, XXL, all I'm asking is that you give these kids different mediums to showcase their talent. The freestyles worked a decade ago because that was a better reflection of what people valued in new rap artists at the time. But now a lot of artists break through because of their melodies, production choices, personality, hooks, visuals, etc. Is that why so much music is going to shit? Not every great new artist is built to stand in front of a mic and deliver a traditional freestyle. Oh, this argument is starting to fall at the seams. Not every great new artist is built to stand in front of a mic and deliver a traditional freestyle. Then why are you showing up on the cover as a XXL freshman? Why do you say yes? If you're not made to dribble a basketball, there's no place for you in the NBA. If you're not made to shoot with efficiency, maybe basketball is not the place for you to be at. If you don't like running because you be getting tired and you be breathing heavy, maybe don't get into a sport to begin with, especially not a professional sport. It's rapping. It's literally in the name. Not even great new artists. You're right. Not every new artist, not great. Not every new artist is built to stand in front of a mic and deliver a traditional freestyle. This is why they don't need to be a XXL freshman. And keep in mind the name XXL freshman and where that's built off of, because it's really built off of collegiate sports. Let's keep it going. He says, I ain't saying the freestyles should just end forever, but if XXL is supposed to introduce a new artist, the format got to evolve with the generation it's covering. Well, that's not as inclusive as it sounds, is it? Because that means that the artists that do or that are inspired by the generation of Kendricks and Coles that happen to be coming up and being the new artists, that means that they get pushed out of the conversation. There's audiences for that because you see an audience that is already criticizing these very thoughts. That lets you know that there is an audience that exists. Maybe not as important to your bottom line, but this audience exists and they are valuable. These are also music buyers that are going to buy from artists that go direct to consumer, aka where they're making the majority of their money from. Give these kids live performances, studio breakdowns. Oh, we changing a whole XXL freestyle. Writing sessions, creative interviews, visual concepts, song challenges. Bitch, Cyphers with better direction. Why does XXL need to dumb down the entire platform to appease mediocrity? Oh, please show us how you sang that song with auto-tune. Please, we gotta see which one of y'all know how to sing better with auto-tune singing for you. That's crazy. Literally anything that lets different kind of artists show why people care about them. even though that is the job of the modern artist, is to make that kind of content on your own. It's not really Double XL's place. This is just a look, a very specific look about you being somebody that is worth the fanfare, worth focusing on. This current format is not a showcase that shit is a trap. And that's the quotable. That this shit is a trap. Then he goes on to say, hey, Double XL, y'all let me creative direct next year's lineup. On God, I'll bring that shit back. I think put that shit on God. I don't know if you should have did that. Ooh, that sound crazy. Now, let's start here. Double XL Freshman, just like it is in a name, is named after college sports. Double XL Freshman borrows its name and structure straight from college sports, mirroring how ESPN and Rivals rank incoming football and basketball recruiting classes. Instead of ranking athletes, Double XL ranks the year's most promising new rappers as a class, puts them on a team-style cover, and turns the reveal into a draft-style event, complete with snub debates, just like college signing day. The Cypher videos function as the highlight reel, or combine where each artist shows out. The concept started informally in 2007 as Freshman Recap, became an annual franchise in 2009, and took on its current Double XL Freshman class name in 2011. It is literally built off of competition. It is built off of a sports theme. Imagine going to a draft combine and saying, I don't want to jump, but we need to measure how high you can jump so that we can get you higher in the draft. I don't want to jump. Why do we got to always jump inside these combines? Why can't we show like our ability to spin the ball on our finger? Why we can't show that we read real good? Because, they have stereotypes about athletes. Why niggas trying to change the whole damn thing to readjust to mediocrity? I don't get that. I thought this was interesting. Somebody brought this tweet up from a year ago, or from 2024. It says, one of the Double XL freshmen ditched the Cypher shoot. Who do you think it was? One freshman got so shook over the Cypher that he ditched the shoot literally 5 minutes before it was going to be filmed. He pretended to go to his car for clothing, hopped in, and got out of there. He and his team then refused to answer their publicist calls. Some of you will probably laugh at what he did because you think he's popping anyway, so it ain't nothing. But I think it was a pathetic way to handle things, and it definitely caused some havoc and felt like a ruthless way to conduct business. Now, who was on this list? Let's see, you got like Banks, Maya, that ain't Rich Amiri, is it? That's Rich Amiri. Ain't no way. Now, there's no way of proving that this is the person that they were talking about, but it's very interesting to hear these thoughts and then to see. Yo, what are you doing? What are we doing? Are we forgetting that Double XL is built on the shoulders of folks that were the aggressive separation from the herd, of artists that were, no matter what region they were from, no matter what style of rapping they were seen as, this is the person to highlight and this is what we're going to build our brand off of. You mean to tell me in this school that was built, in this building that was built, that has obviously gone through all kind of transformations, you won't change that instead of creating something of your own or going somewhere else where it's celebrated as is? I think that is disingenuous to say the least. And this is the Double XL freshman here. And I think that compared to last year, there's a lot more skill set that is on display. And maybe that's a side effect of the things that have happened over the last few years and how there is a point of emphasis on skill set. But for the first time in a long time, I don't have nearly as many issues because it doesn't feel like it's that many gimmicks on this particular list, if you ask me. The internet had a field day with this. One person in particular who spoke out, who's obviously a big name in the independent space. We cover him many a times here. Russ said, so as a new rapper being asked to rap is a trap? Because rap has evolved beyond the ability to ... rap?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
I don't think we could call everything an evolution. Just because it's different. Maybe it's more diverse. Everything ain't an evolution. Especially if you feel that singing is an evolution and you're not singing better. but you're finding better FX chains that help you to become a better studio artist, but not a better performer, even though it's in your name as a recording artist and also a live performer. You don't see how that can feel like a de-evolution of the process? Russ brings it to a place that I know Afro Butterfly and I are absolutely gonna agree with, and this comes back also to the conversation about literacy rates in America. You can't dodge this conversation. It is all up and through culture. It is all up and through movies and the way that they shoot those and the way that they do the music as well. Peep this.
There's an actual literacy crisis in America and a growing demand for dumbed down lyrics in rap. Do with that information what you will. There's an
short and sweet. It is not by chance that we are dealing with a literacy crisis in America, some of which you can obviously point at the pandemic that had a lot of kids out of school and being homeschooled or not being schooled at all or not being, in the presence of professionals and teachers that can guide them along the way. You can blame it on a few different things, just the culture of brain rot in the internet. But one thing that cannot be denied is that there is a direct connection between American literacy rates. Damn it, going through those stories from Rich Amiri, I damn near had a seizure. The literacy rates and the necessity, even if it is a primal necessity, and these folks don't even realize on a conscious level, a primal necessity to exist in spaces where you don't feel dumb, to listen to music that doesn't make you feel dumb, to consume and read things that don't make you feel dumb, like magazines, now in the form of tweets. It feels like a lowering of the bar. And this is a cultural thing widespread. I say the same thing happened with Bam Adebayo in this 83-point game. You know why they didn't hit that didn't hit the same as Kobe going and doing 81 and scoring 81? Because it represents this culture of dumbing things down, squeezing whatever resources you have to make it look like the thing that is legendary and that has a legacy, just to say that you have your name in the books. And I think that there are rappers actively doing the same thing. How do I get a game to readjust to me that I can't readjust to or that I refuse to improve upon? Well, let's dumb this shit down. Why ask for more bars from me when I could just argue to you, what are the necessity of bars if we've evolved to not even singing on key? I think Rob Markman had a great clip here where he spoke about this, and I want to go ahead and share his point of view on this because I agree with a lot of the points.
Right? They are not expecting the whole freshman class to come in Lupe Fiasco, Absol, Daylight, Low Deluxe. If that's what you do, if that's your bag, then it's set up for you to do that, but that's not a requirement, right? And I don't even think these freshman artists are being judged like that. But if you look like at this year's list, somebody like a Chris Patrick, and I just because I closely follow Chris could fucking go. Chris could rap.
Facts.
With anybody. You'll put Chris in the Cypher with anybody, and Chris Patrick is gonna go. So, but that's his bag.
Chris Patrick also trains. He treats this as a sport. Go to his Instagram and go follow the clips, whether you want to call them, I've seen people say that, big performative or whatever. He is somebody that is the living embodiment of the type of dedication that a Kendrick talked about on Man in the Garden. Look at Chris Patrick, and he's showing you that in real time. He trains to make sure that his air is in a place that gives him the ability to get off these type of raps live. Because it's not just enough to write, right, with all of its depth. If you can't perform it, you're missing out on part of your job duty. If you can't entertain, you're missing out on parts of the boxes that need to be checked off. And there seems to be so many artists across the way who are finding shortcuts to get their shit off and then be in the same conversations and debates of the greats. You have not done anything yet. Not yet. Not yet.
So that's what he's going to display. But nobody's forcing him to do that. I think what they force you or what they require from you more than just bars, just like spit bars, is a level of preparation.
Come on.
Right? A level of giving a fuck. A level of doing what you do the best at the very highest level. So if melody is your thing, let's say bars isn't my thing, but melody is my thing, then when it's your turn to go, give the best melodic performance that you can.
Oh, Oh, okay, let's go into your world. You're not a rapper by the traditional sense. That's not even your lane. You've chosen a completely different lane that highlights your ability to attack these pockets in rhythmic ways. You've incorporated melodies. You got your streams up. You have an audience that came for that particular segment of your version of music. Cool. Then why not go there and perform your ass off at an opportunity that is so grand? You got people wanting to change the format to appease and to adjust to those who make these styles. And I think XXL has at least done that to make themselves more open to the idea, because there was a time and period where if you didn't rap, your ass wasn't on the freshman list. Okay, adjustments have been made, cool. But you're not even attempting to be the best version of the hat that you want to wear. You're not even attempting to be you're not even trying to show how aggressively separated from the herd of other artists you are. Choosing to say yes to a platform like this that was built off of skills, that was built off of competition, that was built off of all of these hip hop abilities that are very core abilities. Going there in the first place is a bad decision because those are not your abilities. These are a lot of your weaknesses. But now going and saying that this platform needs to change when you won't even be the best version of what you're doing. What are we doing here?
Ty Dolla $ign was a XXL freshman in 2014. And he did his cypher with Rich Homie Quan, rest in peace to Rich Homie Quan. And he did his cypher with Lil Durk. And he put melody on that shit.
Man, and I go back and forth with the designer. That was a remarkable performance that people were talking about, even those who are not fans of a designer's music. I remember some of the spiritual, miracle, lyrical, they loved it too, because it was like, now that's somebody that I think possesses a skill that you had to work your ass off to attain. It wasn't a gimmick. It wasn't a viral moment. It wasn't something that is not going to build out a long-term career. Right. It wasn't something that was going to build out a short-term career. It was something that had long-term career attached to the skill set. And I think a lot of that is missing. Here's what happens, though, if we continue to go to this direction, because I just saw this quote here in the chat, and I agree with you. Damn it, the bar is in the ground. It is buried at this point. I can't find the comment, but I agree with whoever said that. Here's what happens, though. And I've been theorizing about this, but I couldn't really put a name to it. And this is not even to single out this artist. We're going to continue back down this rabbit hole because I want to react to Chris Patrick and what he did in this freestyle. But matter of fact, yeah, let's just go. Let's go. This is the first time I'm hearing of this particular person. I don't know this person. I don't really be on TikTok like that. But this artist has a series in which she shows how easy rap is. I believe this is a white woman, first of all. She's explaining this skill set that so many of us have a high respect for, that we regard as a high art form. Those who have spent, like myself, who have spent years perfecting their craft and working on their craft as a producer, as an artist. She's now going to show you how easy, day 2 of proving that rap is easy. It's a trend for her. Let's see how she does.
Sleepy Puppy 77 here. Today is day 2 of listening to one artist that I don't really listen to that much and trying to replicate their sound. Today's episode is Laser Dim.
My Gen 5 generation. I spent too much time to tell me to stop it. From 5 to his head, 9 apple to nothing. I just drive out the trap and go to an apartment. I'm in the hoodie, the boy got stop it. You got some pop, but no pot to go pissing. Price on my wrist, watch it shining and glisten.
So I think part of the bar that is being lowered is partly for the artists that don't want to embody these skill sets. They don't have any desire to put that work in. But I think this is also a cultural dumbing down as well. One that allows other races to be a part of it, because if you don't need the cultural nuance, if you don't need the skill set, if you don't even need to know who came before you, I get to be involved in that too. And I get to get really deep in these conversations and be in these circles that otherwise, if I had to rely on skill and cultural currency, I wouldn't have a way in. She just showed you how easy this shit is, which sounds like the style of many of different up and coming artists. And I wouldn't have counted this as something that's related to this story had I not seen this. I thought this brother made a really interesting point that is worth sharing. Listen to what he said about the video that I just shared with you.
Everybody's scared to say it. I'm tired of white people in the underground. I'm tired of it. I'm the first to say it. I'm tired of the Caucasian race in the underground.
Damn.
Get them out of here, bro. They're ruining this shit, bro. I'm not a racist. But this shit, bro, this brings the Dr. Umar out of me, bro. This shit is infuriating, bro. They are stealing our culture.
Lord have mercy. We must stay focused.
So when I go back here and I think about what he said on one of these slides, he said, and I quote, let me make sure I go back here and we get the right one. He said, this is Rich Amiri. He said that there is a new audience that represents where people are at as a group. Let me see if I can find that in particular. He said, was it here? Controversial moments happening and shaping a rollout. There it is. But it's a difference between documenting what happened and shaping the XXL rollout around the most ridicule-friendly moments. When your platform is built around introducing new artists to a wider audience, there should be some responsibility in how you frame these artists. He goes on to say, what is the other part of it? I want to make sure I get this just to drive this home. Is it here? The freestyles worked a decade ago because that was a better reflection of what people valued in new rap artists at the time. What happens when those people that are dictating what the value is look like pink hair? What happens when this is the audience that you're appeasing? The same ones that will listen, consume, and turn around and tell you how easy your shit is. What happens when that's the audience? What happens when that's the audience that you're appeasing to? Because who are we really talking about? When we're talking about crossing over in music, when we're talking about finding a broader audience, let's just keep it a whole stack. You're talking about a wider audience. Not wider, a whiter audience. And if that is the case, that is who you're letting dictate a tradition that was not built off of these perspectives. You're talking about a XXL that has had the most elite in rap on the cover. You want to let them folks determine it? Okay. Boy, oh boy, the rabbit hole gets a little bit deeper. So in response to these statements by Rich Amiri, Sonny Digital, who's had a very interesting week, he had a few things to say. He said, in response to somebody that said, bro said it's unfair to ask rappers to rap, he says, I understand what Rich Amiri is saying. This new age consumption of music is way different. I agree. I'd always like to hear them rap, but the only problem is the new music is heavily based on effects on the vocals. When they actually rap it live, it doesn't sound good. There's truth to that.
Somebody gonna have to tell it.
There's truth to that.
Tell it.
A lot of these artists, and recording is an art, engineering is an art. A lot of these artists are made and designed in the studio. The work goes into whoever is engineering this world. Even when you think about the artists that they may look up to, the Don Tollivers and the Travis Scotts, they're very heavily reliant upon effects. The difference is they can execute these pretty damn well live. I say more so Don Tolliver. They can operate those live. But when you put all of your emphasis in, my skill set is what the ability of Harris Auto-Tune is. My skill set is the abilities of my engineer. My skill set is the abilities of whatever AI assistance I'm getting. Bitch, what do you do? What do you do? You a pretty face? And colorful dreads? Like, what do you do? If we remove all of these, do you have a skill set that aggressively separates you from everybody else? What do you do? And when it's time to perform, why is it so difficult to hear you do that? This is beyond just a preference for lyricism. You can't even do the thing that you said you signed up to do well. Without there being heavy engineering, heavy mixing, heavy auto-tuning, you can't even do the thing you chose. That's like going to the NBA and saying, all right, I don't dribble. Okay, cool. Do you rebound? Hell yeah. I'm like Dennis Rodman with the rebounding. And you get in the game and you shit the bed. Every time the basketball start bouncing, you be like, damn, these motherfuckers can jump high. When do you plan on jumping? Rebounder? Come on, man. What is this? My thing is, if you don't want to do it, why'd you choose this? Like I told you, Sonny Digital had a very busy week. He also said this. Oh, boy. And this is all related. This is all related. Don't you click off yet. This is all related. Matter of fact, hit that like button. I don't want to take this out of context, but he said to all you underground boom bap niggas that's talking shit, all y'all music is ass. That's why it's going nowhere. A bunch of wannabe lyrical ass niggas. Y'all niggas really like that woke Drewski shit. It is a shame. Like it is a shame that we have taken on the colonizers' use of the word woke and made it our new definition of what woke is. That is insane. That is insane. But to his point, I think that there's a lot of artists who do feel this way, and I think they're in the same category as a Rich Amiri, who feel like, man, don't nobody want to hear that shit. This shit is unk rap. Don't nobody want to hear that. Man, it's just like that Drewski skit, that woke ass shit. Here's the problem though. That woke ass shit is what the entire platform of a XXL was built off of. That socially conscious, that socially aware, that storytelling of neighborhoods, the CNN of rap, as Razzcast once said, it was built off of that. So to exclude that or to push that out of the conversation, that's just not of people who are in this culture, but there are people for some reason or another who feel that way. It's really dope to see artists like a Chris Patrick though, because I don't think that he is of that line of thinking. Chris Patrick, we have talked to him before. We were doing a live stream of his music, supremely talented. And he's not just in the category of a lyricist. He is a fantastic songwriter. He has some things to say about this. He says, some niggas got it and some don't. This is in response to Rich Amiri. It is what it is. But making the excuse of shit being a trap because folks scared to put in pain is crazy. I agree. Wale even said rap is rap. It was when it started and it ain't changed. On God, you ain't lying, is what he said. He followed that up. I ain't gonna put the other tweet he put up because when this story first broke of Rich Amiri talking about this, he put, shut the F up, Janice, and then added him. Ain't none of my business. He said, a lot of folk create excuses for the lack of work done in the trenches and expect you to agree with them. Brother, we are not the same. And like I told you, this is somebody who is not shy about displaying what goes into the behind the scenes of what makes a Chris Patrick as talented as he is. For those of you that have never heard Chris Patrick, I think this is a great opportunity to turn something that somebody may look at and say this is a negative story. Why don't you highlight those who are doing the thing? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. Watch this particular freestyle of some very impressive ones of XXL Freshman 2026 Chris Patrick. Peep game.
So when I got that call that Tim died, I started questioning what it mean to live. Heartbeat in your ribs. Like what it mean to love someone when they alive, when they die, the death doesn't seem as big, desensitized, the funeral coming. You can't even leave a crib. I beat myself up knowing I rationalized my cowardice. XXL named me freshman, I still feel powerless. The fuck these accolades supposed to mean when your niggas grounded under 6 feet of dirt, survivor's guilt been devouring. The mirror got a man with a face of shame looking out of it. I kind of balance my flaws, my mama praises. People at the crib looking at me stuck in amazement while internal warfare dumped in abundance within me rages. My bro mama passed from cancer, corruption up and through phases. Before she died, she forced me to make a promise. As long as I'm alive, keep telling the world your story, so I stand here representing the impoverished. What you seeing is the living proof of suicide attempts that never prosper. At 22, I thought my life was destined for a coffin, damn near married to that fate, but God objected at the altar, cosplay happiness so long, I fucking end up with an Oscar jersey's very own. Being where I'm from, this shit feel bittersweet. Heaven sent, he sat for lunch with Hov. We had to sit through grief. That call came. My homegirl body by River Creek, so now I live my life for both of us while she in blissful peace. Pain is watching kids return to God while seeing mothers cry. Snow days, we learned to shovel holes in case our brothers died. I came so fucking close to joining partners on the other side. That scar tissue right below my wrist proved that I'm loved alive. Trust that I bless so much for this. I need a diva cup. Voices of the dead within my head while I don't sleep enough. Oven door, propped inside the crib when we was freezing up. Kitchen floor, nothing but a blanket just to heat us up. 4 for 4, split team 4 of us was how we treated lunch. Starvation gave me drive. Was at my best when I ain't eat enough. up. Drive-bys, all out from the truck is where they greeted us. Body can't be shown under the sheet is where they seen the bruh. Life support, pray the EKG won't stop from beeping up. Doctor's face was how we knew them angels was gonna beam him up. Much respect to Bobs, that nigga stepped up when we needed him. I'm on the phone with Nas, he wanna spin back, put a beam on him. I stand in front of the world as a messenger for my people. If Jersey ain't your blood, they'll never see you as equal. Jack Antonoff changed the league, Miss Hill didn't need a sequel. SZA biggest on the planet, they still think we not lethal. If dying for this shit mean bringing light back to the land, keep a Bible on the van, Ruger right below the hand, St. Patrick the evangelist delighted to expand. I'm screaming 070 until I'm lifeless in the sand, nigga. Jersey.
Chris Patrick, ladies and gentlemen, Chris damn Patrick. For those of you in my younger audience, my goal is not to alienate you. Even my Caucasian subscribers, my goal is not to alienate you, but you should not feel alienated by truth. You should not be feeling alienated by folks who don't represent your perspectives and your viewpoints as it comes to this culture. What I can say is this: you feel the difference. XXL freshman list used to be, even as a rapper, I'm gonna give you a perspective that a lot of rappers won't give you. When you're younger and you watch these XXL freshman lists, first thing you think to yourself is, that nigga ain't better than me. Let me see. That ain't better than me. All of them better than me. That's the ego part of it. And then you hear the artist and you say to yourself, I can see why. They are very, very different. I don't think I've ever heard someone quite sound like that and embody all these type of styles and flows in a person like this, in this presentation, coming from where they come from. When you see this, there's a difference in the skill set of what you're seeing. When you see this, there's a confirmation, even as an audience, of, I see why they saw that in him. I see why they saw the XXL freshman in him. I see why this is someone to look out for. Same way it would be in collegiate sports. When you see a standout athlete, you say, oh, no, they different. They're built different. And I think the same thing applies for different styles. This is not biased to any East Coast, West Coast styles of modern day boom bap and lyricism, because Lord knows there's terrible versions of that too. There are boom bap rappers there are rappers who rap over traditional boom bap beats, and all they are doing, as I think Read My Soul said, is reheating old nachos, right? Or reheating old fries, I think is what he said. So many of them who are just purely mimicking, in their best ChatGPT version, mimicking their own generations of a prior generation. But I always say you're not paying homage to a sound if you wouldn't inspire your inspiration. So in this case, I'm looking at the folks that are the most critical of it, and I'm not in disagreement. I think the XXL freshman list has lost its way. I think 2024 was an awesome opportunity for them to get back to the things that made them great. They chose to go a different direction because greatness is not always going to get you clicks. Greatness is not always going to get you views. Greatness is not always going to get you conversations that are nuanced like this. And these are platforms that need to benefit off of the ads that are advertising on their website. And if you're not angry enough, you won't visit them. If you're not disappointed enough, you won't care. And here we are talking about it in this very moment. But I think one thing that cannot be ignored, everybody has a responsibility, whether you choose to melodically rap or whether you choose to be very staccato and very nuanced in your storytelling and detailed. Everyone must perform. Recording artist is literally in your name, but it doesn't mean that you are a specialist in recording and not performing. As a professional, it is your job to check off the boxes necessary. And beyond it being your job, you should want to. The desire to half-ass your way to greatness is a very new concept, foreign to me. This idea that XXL needs to change, I don't think that it needs to change to appease those artists, because it's alienating the very core audience that buy these magazines, consume these magazines, look at their blog posts, the ones that built up this platform, the artists that built it up. But I do think that if this other style is so great, just wait. There should be a XXL coming up sometime soon that appeases you. But trying to change the very tradition, trying to change the very things that make hip hop great, to me feels like colonizer behavior. I don't care who's in the skin saying it and what skin they're in. DIYs, those are my particular thoughts. You let me know what you think.
DIY.
Tear in your eye.